everyone, I'm Denise McClellan and welcome back to my channel, So What by Denise McClellan. Listen, today I'm going to let you know that I had thought about maybe making some surgical ties for those who are in need of keeping themselves from this coronavirus. Well, what I wanted to do was I went to Hobby Lobby and I purchased some bias tape. I didn't keep my plastic that goes over it, but this is what it actually looks like. And I'm going to use these ties for my ties on my tape, on my surgical mask. Oh, I'm messing up today. But anyways, you want to cut 4 16-inch pieces of your bias tape. And I've already, to save time, I've already zigzagged them closed so I can go ahead and save time with this video. And like again, I said, here's what it looks like. Your 6 by 9 pieces are right here. You can use any pieces of fabric lying around. In my case, I don't have a wrong and right side. These actually are the same on both sides. The wrong and the right side are exactly the same. You want a piece of fabric that you want to use for your lining. Mine is going to be, my mask is going to be three layers of fabric. I'm using the muslin fabric for my lining, which I'm going to lay on the bottom. Whatever fabric you choose to use, you want to go ahead and put those on top of your lining. If it's a piece of fabric that has a wrong side and a right side, you want to put right sides together. Remember that. I'm going to go ahead and take the top of it off for a moment, and we're going to lay our 4 pieces of tape that I've cut. Go ahead and move that down about a 1/2 inch from each corner. I'm going to pin them into place, each one. And that's going to be a reason why I'm going to do that. I'm laying them all the same because I want it to look really nice when it's done, okay? There's 2, let's see, 3. You want to secure with a pin because if you don't, you might get into trouble. It may look a little off. If you get 1 1/2 inch, 1 3/8 of an inch, but just make sure you kind of eyeball it, and each one with a 1/2 inch from each corner. Okay, these ties are, like I said, 16 inches in length, so I'm going to get them out of the way. Let's try to fold them so they won't get into my stitching once we connect our surgical mask. All right, your other fabric, your top fabric, you're going to lay it over all of the thickness, okay? Secure it with your pins. Make sure your ties are not in the way because you'll stitch them down. Just kind of bunch them up if you can in the center. Okay, maybe 3 or 4 pins will do the trick. And because we're going to turn your surgical mask, let's go ahead and get our ruler. And since it's 6 by 9, let's go ahead and we're going to use our ruler and maybe go down about 2 1/2 inches. Make a marking with your chalk. 2 1/2 from each corner on one side because we're going to create an opening because we're going to turn this right side out, okay? We're just leaving enough there to turn it, okay? You can maybe use 3 inches if you like. Okay, now go to your sewing machine. Remember your little marks. You're gonna start making a 3/8 inch of a seam allowance. Let's go ahead and do our little back stitch. And when you get to your little ties, you might want to do a little back stitch over them to secure them in place, okay? Let's do that. There's one. Continue on around till you get to your marking. Removing your pins as you go. There's the second little tie. Leave your needle in the down position and just kind of pivot it down the back side of it. Don't get those ties. If you feel those ties are thickness, go ahead and raise up your presser foot and just keep going, sewing along till you finish. You don't want them in the way. Needle down. keep going around. You're almost done. Removing pins as you go. Back stitch. We're almost done. So remove that pin. I can see that pin there sticking out. There's your little stopping point, and you want to just back stitch there to secure that in place. And cut all of your threads, so you don't want to have any loose threads. Make it neat when you're finished. Now, what I do, I like to keep that nice and neat. You want to just go ahead and clip your corners, not cutting any of your stitching. Okay? Clip all 4 corners. Avoid clipping your stitching now, because you don't want to mess that up. I try to be really neat when I sew. I'm just like that. Okay, here we go now. We're going to turn that right side out. I have tweezers, but you can use any kind of scissors. Just be careful to poke out my corners. I use my tweezers. Okay, all 4 corners. And as you know, we put pins to secure those ties, so by all means, do not forget to take your pins out. You don't want to have someone stick themselves when they're putting their mask on. That would be bad. And you'll be able to tell where your pins are, because they'll stick you as you're turning that right side out, okay? Use your tweezers. You're going to use it to make your little corners pointed. That's what you want that finished product to look like. Let's see how we did. Hopefully we didn't catch any of our ties. Great, we didn't. Okay, now see that opening that we had with my iron? I'm going to flatten that out. I think it looks really nice. Okay, don't worry about that opening, because we'll take care of that in just a few minutes. Okay, now you've got it turned. See what it looks like? What you want to do is just kind of eyeball it. You want all of your little pleats to fold the same way, making about maybe a total of 1 inch, and you're going to have half and half. See how that's half and half? And pin that into place, because you're going to make 2 pleats. Pin them down. There's your first pleat. Like I said, you want them to go the same way. Okay, now that we've pinned our pleats, you're going to just press it down temporarily. Go to your sewing machine. We're going to stitch all the way around, probably about 1/4 inch seam allowance. All the way around your mask. Remember that opening, we're taking care of that now. And then you want to stitch over your pleats to put them in place. Sew through all thickness. It's going to be a little thick, but just if you need to, just go ahead and push it through with your finger. Making sure, take out your pins as you go. Okay? Keep stitching. other side, you got your pleats there. It's real thick. Hold it in place if you need to. Get your pins out of the way. You don't want to break a needle. Almost finished. See how simple that is? And we're done. Closing that up. Okay, we're done. Clip all your threads. I'll show you what it looks like. It's so simple, even a beginner seamstress can make one of these. And I know that we're in a crisis right now, but you don't have to fear because we know that God is with us. Amen. Pressing that down, let you look at the finished product. Pretty good, huh? I'm so glad that you watched, and I want you to subscribe to me if you have not already. And listen, leave me a comment down below. I'm just anxious to see how you feel about my video on today. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.